Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott, and how is everybody today? If you see behind me, the sun is shining. It's the first time we've seen any real sun in days. It's been raining, lots of good steady, that kind of slowish rain. My cover crop that I got growing on my property out there is all coming up real nice. Hopefully another couple weeks it'll all be green out there. It'd be nice to see something other than dirt and clay. So I got that going for us today. So anyhow, I wanted to talk about contact tracing. There's a lot of stuff out there about it, and I wanted to discuss it in the context of looking at it from both sides. And first of all, what is it? Contact tracing is typically used when someone is carrying a disease like the COVID-19. And if you are discovered to have the COVID-19 disease, what people want to do is, first of all, they want to quarantine you, but then they want to find out who did you talk to, where did you go, and how many people may have you come in direct contact with. And so they form a list, and that way they can track where the disease is going. And if they know some of these other people, they can contact them, and or at least go to where you've been and test people there for the disease. Now, in general, that's a good idea, because that's how you would try to contain the disease, is by finding a carrier, so to speak, and then finding out where they have gone, and then go try to test, quarantine, isolate that area. This is not something new. It's something that's been around for a long time. I'm not sure when it started, but probably at least 100, 200 years ago, people started tracking the disease. You go back, Typhoid Mary, if you know anything about her, would be an example of starting of the contact tracing. So in general, I think if used properly, it's a good thing to help contain the disease and to help to spread itself throughout our population. However, dropping the other shoe, they are talking about using things like Apple and Google, your cell phones. Those are the two big operating systems, Android and iOS, and putting an app in there that will kind of do the tracing automatically. And from what I understand right now, that is an opt-in sort of thing. In other words, you have to download an app on your phone, and the Apple iOS and the Google Android have the mechanisms to use it, but you still have to download an app to make that happen. So if you test positive and you have this app on your phone, then as you travel about, people will know, and it's supposed to be anonymous, but people will know when there's a carrier of the disease near them. It'll alert them, but it won't give them your name, so to speak. It'll just say, hey, there's a guy within 3 or 6 feet of you that's tested positive for COVID-19. Again, that sounds good, and it could be a useful tool. However, because now it's your phone tracking, and they can link a phone to you, they can use this app as long as you have it turned on, because what I'm told is that you can go into the settings and turn this off. But if you have this app on your phone and it is tracking you, it's also tracking other people. And where I may start having a problem with this is if they use it for something other than tracking where a disease such as COVID-19 is going and who has it. Like I said, altruistically, it sounds like a great idea because it helps us to contain the disease. And for those of us that don't have it, we know, hey, there's somebody nearby and we can, move away. However, it's also tracking where you go and who you, I'll say, associate with. And what I mean by that is if other people are using this app and a group of you get together, we'll say, just something out there, we'll say you're a member of a militia and you all go to a militia meeting. Well, this app knows that there's a bunch of people here in this group that are meeting, and then further intelligence gathering will determine, oh, this is a militia group, so now you are put in another category other than somebody who has a disease. You are somebody who may have the disease and you're a member of the militia, or you have the disease and you are a member of a conservative party, or you don't have the disease and you're hanging out with people that have the disease and are members of a party or a militia, or none of you have the disease, but because we're tracking kind of where everybody moves, we see a congregation of people, and that may be determined that, oh, this group is a conservative group, a militia group, a liberal group. It doesn't matter. But you are now being tracked and you are being associated. And if you're a member of like Facebook and you have stuff going on there, they build a profile on you. And so, like I said, used properly, contact tracing is a good thing. However, there's a lot of evil that can be attached to it. And it could help to categorize you, categorize your friends, and as long as your category is friendly to whoever the powers that be are, you're fine. But as history says, one day you're good, next day you're bad. It all depends on who's in power. So all I'm going to say is be careful. Me personally, I'm not going to partake in any of this contact tracing. I'm not going to avail myself to it, nor am I going to say where I've gone, what I've been. For those of you that have Android phones, that's kind of in there already. You can go into your Google Drive and pull up a map of every place you've been in the last 20 years. I know because I had an Android phone and I was amazed at all the places it said I was. I had since deleted that. So, be careful. I said, I'm not partaking. I'll take my chances out there in the wild without all this help. But be careful with this contact tracing. When people start asking you questions, be careful. You may not only be compromising yourself, Redbird, you may be compromising your friends. And we don't know to what means this may go. It may be nothing. It may just be used only for the COVID-19, just like they say it is. However, once you have data, once you have that information, people don't let that go. And then they're going to say, oh, this is a good idea. We can look at X or Y party and see who's a member of it and see where they gather. And that way, when we come to power, we know where they hang out, and then we can raid their establishment and arrest everybody. Just be careful. History is not taught very well in today's world, but if you look at Germany in the 1930s, This is actually back when Germany was a socialist country, or back when socialism rose in Germany. And you have to be careful. You have to watch what is going on. So, do your research, be careful, try not to be paranoid, but just be diligent and vigilant in the things that you say and the things that you do. That's all I got for today, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day, a blessed day. Stay safe and stay secure.